All right, today we are going to work on getting this engine ready to be pulled. We're going to drain the coolant, engine oil, transmission fluid, disconnect a few things. We need to remove the radiator, we need to remove the hood. What else? Shit, all the throttle linkage, fuel lines, few coolant lines. There's really not a whole lot of electrical connectors in this. There's a few grounds, but that's about it. So let's get into it. All right, we're under here, the front of the car. We're just below here by the radiator. This here, we're just gonna unscrew this pitcock, start draining the coolant, go up top. Let's take that radiator cap off. There we go. And now we wait. While that coolant is draining, we can start working on getting some of the hoses disconnected. This is an 8mm. And over here as well, we can get it. So we're going to leave this one on. We only need to disconnect it from the thermostat housing. Move some of these spark plug wires out of the way. Came off nice and easy. There we are. That one's off. Now we're going to get down below, and it looks like it might be done draining, so we'll disconnect the lower. All right, I am going to disconnect the lower radiator hose at the radiator. I think it'll just make it easier for pulling it out. There we go. Let's see if this guy's going to come off easy. Oh, the radiator might not be very mounted on there correctly if it's moving that much. All right, I think it's time for a pick. All right, now we're going to use this pick here to try to get up underneath the coolant hose without ripping it and just work our way along. All right, that might have done it for us. There we go. Oh, well, let's get the, it's not totally drained, so let's get the drain pan and take care of that. All right, now we've got the drain pan underneath to catch all of that extra coolant. We'll let that drain and we will work on getting the radiator out. Before we do that, if I don't knock the camera over, I am going to tighten this hose clamp back up just so it doesn't get lost. There we go. All right, so I'm looking over here to unbolt the radiator. We've got what looks like a 12 right there, and the opposite side with the same thing over there. There should be two more up there, well, one there, and one right there. You can barely see it, it's not focusing. But it looks like whoever took it out didn't put them back in, so, well, let's get those out. I think first we're going to spray them with a little bit of penetrating fluid, oil, WD-40, seafoam, whatever your flavor is. There's some on that one. Let's see if we can get that one over there. Weird angles in the front. I probably should pull the hood. I think I might work on that now. I am alone, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, we're set up over here to start disassembling the hood. So I'm going to use a paint pen. I'm just going to make a rough mark, just so if I have to put this back on before anything else, I got a basic idea of its alignment. We're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Of course, we'll have to fit it together properly in the future, but this is just if I need to put the hood back on when I roll it outside after the engine's out. We're good to go. All right, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to just undo one of the fasteners on this side and do the same on the other side, so that way I can kind of, eventually I'll pull both out on one side, try to support it, pull the last one out, and pull the hood off without smashing it into the windshield or anything else. All right, so this is going to get really awkward really quick. So we'll see how much of it I can get on camera. I've got one fastener on each side of the hinge. I'm going to take this one off so it's all the way off, lower the hood just a little bit. And, well, we'll try not to break anything. Oh, we're starting to get some movement. I'm going to lean it down a little bit. All right, we've got one side totally off. Perhaps. There we go. Let's go to the other side. There we go. Hood is off. It was terribly awkward, but we didn't scratch anything. We didn't break anything. So that's a win. Now we're going to work on taking this radiator right out. All right. Well, there should be 4 fasteners on here, but there are only 2 at the bottom. We're going to get both of these out, both 12s. If we can fit this in here. All right. That's 1. And here's 2. If we can get in here without getting over too much of the light. All right, this should be free. Let's give it a little wiggle. Oh yeah, I think we're good. Let's wrestle this radiator out of here. Shouldn't be too bad. It's got these locking tabs that hold it in. Well, let's see what's holding it up on this side. You're out. All right, something I just noticed when I was draining the coolant into this container I have. Can you see the metal flakes in there? Yeah, you can see them right there. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I think what it might have been was, I believe there's those products for quick head gasket repairs that are, for the most part, total snake oil. And I think somebody might have used that in this. So it's good to know, but not a great sign. All right, we're going to drain the oil. This is a 22 millimeter. That fastener is, let's move the mic. The fastener is so marred up that the other end won't fit it. There we go. Take the glove off. There we go. That is some black oil. My goodness. Oh yeah. I'm really curious how the inside of the engine's going to look. We're going to find out. All right, now we're going to do the transmission fluid. Just a, I don't know if it gets in there, it's just a 1/2 inch. Oh, it doesn't actually go that deep. So let's see if we can reach underneath here. There we go. All right, it's coming up, no problem. Get the oil pan underneath. Oh, that's, well, you know, actually doesn't look too bad. Magnet, yeah, it's got some on it, some debris, but nothing too bad. That's good news. Or they replaced the transmission fluid thinking that that was going to fix an issue, and it didn't, but we'll see. All right, we're going to let this drain for a while, and then we're going to start. We're already down here, so we can pull the slave cylinder off. All right, well, what you'll immediately see here, and I just noticed, is this wire should have been connected to something. This isn't stock. This isn't OEM. This has been put on here. I'm not exactly sure what it goes to. Reverse switch or something. We'll find out. But the slave cylinder here is going to be 214 millimeters. That's one out. Let's try to get. No, I've got a good angle for this one. There we go. Oh, all right. Well, just all fell apart. If you'll notice, the line is totally shot, just completely. That could be a good reason the clutch was just going right to the floor, because this was just expanding every time it would be under pressure. Oh, that was a loud truck that went by. But yeah, we're done down here. I might loosen some of these bell housing bolts just to get them started. Another thing before I leave down here, I always try to put the fasteners back where they came from. Just run them in a little bit. You know, I bag and tag everything. I can't do this. But when I have the opportunity, I will put them back where they came from. It makes everything so much easier, because you will forget where things go, and you will lose things if they're not properly organized. Now we're going to move on with removing the starter. So, let's see. Let's start by removing these. Of course, the battery is not in the car. This should be a 12, and it definitely isn't. Let's try something else. Of course it is. They put some standard SAE mixed in with all this. That is a 1/2 inch, which it shouldn't be, but we got the tools. All right, this will get a few things. Oh, I dropped the washer. Need to remember to grab that. I would thread this back on now, but there's another one right behind it. I'm assuming it's a 1/2 inch again. Let's see. It is. Oh wait, I don't need to take that one off. But this one does need to come off. Now I'm gonna hope it's still 14 millimeters on the actual mount bolts for it, mounted to the bell housing there. And it is. All right, throw that back in so I can actually get the impact out. Not drop the washers this time. And there's going to be one more below it. Let's see if I can get it from up here. It's going to be a bit of finagling. Oh, I think I got it. There we go. All right, let's get this out of here. There we are. Starter's out. This has been replaced, but I'm not too sure about it. Set that out of the way. We can move some of these cords out of the way. Just get them out of the car altogether. Again, bag and tag everything you can, because I can't. This is a perfect example. I can't run those starter bolts back in, because I'm gonna, when I go to split the engine from the transmission. We can't have them there, so we're gonna get a bag. We're gonna write down all the, like the name, all the information goes to those. We'll do that with everything else. There we are. So we're gonna disconnect the oil pressure sensor. That's easy right there. We've got the alternator. Grab from the connector, not the wires. That's done. It looks like we have two 8mm there. Yep. At least the top one's an 8. I know I'm reaching right in front, but there's not much I can do. We're going to thread that fastener back where it was. And then we've got this one right down here. 8 as well. All right, that's not good. We're actually spinning the posts. As you can see, it just broke that wire right off. So I will take the impact to that, and it will probably pull that right off. We'll need to put a new connector on that when it comes time to put it all together. Sucks, but at least that part's done. I think we're going to go up top and start moving some fuel lines. Now we're going to start removing the fuel lines and the lines that lead to the charcoal canister. Pull that clamp back. This one out of sight, you can't quite see, but it's going to come right off there from the canister. This is actually a great example. So I'm actually going to bring you guys in real close here. On that Phillips, you'll see that dot just to the right. Right. Let's see if I can get in frame. Well, right there. This is not, from what I understand, a normal Phillips. This is JIS. And that is, let's see, back out, Japanese Industrial Standard, I believe. So a lot of times when you're taking these apart, you know, a Phillips will fit just fine for the most part. But if they're seized up at all, it's very common on these to strip them out and just kind of destroy these old OEM brackets here. And this one looks a little crusty on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I will try it with a regular Phillips number 2. Yeah, it almost broke right there. So let's see if we can get around this. So I'm going to hit this with a little bit of penetrating oil. Try it a different way. So I'm going to hold on to this side over here with some vice grips. And these here are, there's many different brands that make them. These are from Vampire Tools, Vampliers. And they allow you to grab on, this focuses, with the front of it. And they actually work quite well to a fastener that might be stripped or something. I just don't want to strip this one. So we're going to try this first. See if we can get to work. There we go. That broke up. So let's see if we can just pull it out with a regular Phillips now that it's not on there as Teza was. Yep, now it's been no problem. I do need to get a JIS style screwdriver for this. I believe they're all number 2. But that is something that I think is necessary for this job. Now we have the fun part of trying to hold this off, this line off, without breaking this or bending this fuel rail. If you actually unscrew these far enough, you can pull this piece right off, like that. The hooks just go through those two little holes. And you can just grab it on both sides of your fingers, depress each side, and kind of wiggle it out of your way. There we go. So these fuel lines are they're going to be replaced. I should just cut them, but well, we're doing things the hard way. That one's loose now. And I don't think I can get in here with the channel locks. Maybe from below? Yes. No, it's not wanting to cooperate. So you learned something with that about those clamps and that fastener, but I'm going to cut it. Pull back. I don't really want to mess up this insulation material. There we go. We'll just do the same with this one down here. Because those are old, cracked, and they're not safe to run anyways. So as far as this side goes, I think I will disconnect the lower radiator hose down there, just so it doesn't bump anything on this way. I'll probably remove this charcoal canister just to get it so, you know, the alternator, when the engine's coming up, it doesn't hit the side of it. All right, get that out of the way. Now around to this side of the engine for some of the few electrical connectors that this thing actually has. Get these loose. Move the temperature sensors over here. There's one. Two. Harness is almost ready to come out. Looks like we have two more, and they are right there. And up here, you won't be able to see this one. Just goes up to a solenoid on the top. And I think we can pull this harness. Oh, we got one more on the actual temperature sensor right there. Pops right off. So that gets this out of the way. Pull off that plug, coil. So now we're going to disconnect the choke cables for both carbs. So we've got this one right here, and if you can see it just under here. No, you can't. It's right under there. 7mm. They're both 7mm. I cannot find my 7mm wrenches. So I don't have access, a straight shot to this one whatsoever. So I'm going to grab it with some vise grips just to get it to turn. There we go. All right, so I can do the rest of that one. And there's a 7 under here. It's going to be difficult for me to see. I'm going to see if I can come up underneath here. All right, now I'm on it. So this one retains like the jacketing, and the inner one actually retains the cable. So I don't think I need to undo this one too far, just loosen it. Yeah, we already see it moving here. That needs to come out a bit more. The 260 I had before, years ago, and the 240 had stock carbs. So I haven't dealt with this setup before. Just need to back this guy off a little bit more. It's difficult to get a grab at it. There we go. So almost to the point I can slip the sleeving of the cable out. Looks like that tab just needs to go there. There we go. And we're out. The other one was just putting pressure on the cable here. So I need to do the other thing to their side. It's going to be the same process. So I'm going to get that done real fast. Well, I think we're to the point that nothing else is really connected to the engine apart from the transmission and the motor mounts. So I'm going to go around and do another double check just to make sure. Yeah, I think we're getting close to getting ready to bring the engine hoist in here and just see. Well, we'll end up testing the tensile strength of, well, anything left on. So just for the possibility of clearance issues when I'm pulling the engine forward, I am going to disconnect this fan. It's just 410 millimeters, so that's not a big deal. We'll try to loosen all of them first. Hopefully we don't bring the studs with us, but there's one more on the bottom. All right, looks like they're all going to turn, so we can start pulling these off. All right, that is out. Gonna put these little nuts back on here. Not like the pulley is gonna fall off, but don't want to lose them. I did drop one down there. I gotta get down there and find. See, one of these studs did try to back out, but didn't end up being an issue. And these aren't mismatched fasteners, so someone has been in here. I guess in a way it's a good thing because that means the water pump may have been done at some point. There's that fastener. Oh, come on. All right, it's on. Well, I put the wheels back on, took it off the jack stands, got the engine hoist all together. And at this point, I'm just going to connect it to right here. Well, that needs to be tightened. And right here. We'll put a little bit of tension on it, then take out the last two bolts on the transmission, and then we will work on the two engine mounts, and it should come free. We are now on to the engine mounts. I've got the hoist putting a little bit of pressure, or pulling up a little bit on the engine. Once we get this side off, we'll see where we're at. The engine hoist is just putting enough, or pulling enough to make sure the thing doesn't hit the ground or, fall back into the engine bay. All right, now to the passenger side. Oh, these are extremely loose. Until they're not. Not gonna have great clearance between that oil pressure sender and no, got a decent amount. But as that backs out, I'm gonna start bumping the connector there. So we're gonna, yep, now I actually have to drive it back in. I can't ratchet out. There we go. All right, there's nothing else holding this engine in that I'm aware of apart from its own weight. All right, it's coming out now. Gotta make sure we can pull it back a bit. Need to get a pry bar and just try to pry it away from the transmission. The bottom of the oil pan is just touching the side of where the engine mount is, but I think we'll slide right past it. There we go. And it's out. All right, that engine is officially out. Let's see what we got in here. A surprisingly okay throw-up bearing. We'll pop this clutch off, take the flywheel off. We'll get this thing up on the engine stand. Well, there it is. It's on the engine stand. At this point, I just need to disconnect it from the hoist, put the hoist away, and then, well, the next time I'm able to get out here, we're going to take it apart, you know, pull that oil pan, kind of see the condition of the engine, and just start disassembling everything and seeing if we can salvage this one. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.